Anyway, all right. Moving
But,
on to 19 Parallel Cabernet.
Well, first off, it's fun for me personally, and so if folks, you don't have the luxury to be able to test those wine side by side, but one of the key for us is really to reflect the vintage. We want to make sure the wine tastes like we experienced during the vintage. And I feel like sometimes even the wine writers are forgetting about this. And they are always looking for the same character, no matter what the vintage is about. And that's how they score the wine. And I think they're missing a little bit something. So each vintage, all the noses are different to me. And that's really the important part, because 2019 was another really strong year. And between winemakers, it's always, if I ask a room of 20 winemakers, if they prefer the 18 or the 19, usually it's the room is split in half. So just to tell you that it's more about how we appreciate the vintage, but they're both wonderful. That means what? I'm sure without testing it that they can age obviously well. But just smelling the 19 for me, it feels a little bit more like I can drink it now compared to 18. Right away, I was feeling, oh, I better wait a little bit longer. Why? Just because the smell is a little bit more refined and friendly at this stage, and still complex. You feel like you smell almost the power of the wine. The 19 vintage was basically a slightly riper. So like I was saying, 18, obviously a lot of fruit, big year, but cooler weather. So we harvested later, if you wish. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm sure Adrian has a number, but in 19, we harvested, like October 18, for example. So we're more like on a later spectrum.
17 and 8, October 17 and 18. So that was actually that was the latest.
But 19 has a little bit more sunshine in September, so that's kind of reflect into the wine. It's a little slightly what I call riper fruit profile. So for people who really like the sunshine of California, I think they prefer 19. For the people who like a little fresher wine, they'll prefer 18. That's kind of a simplistic way approach, but that's the way I see it. And 19 really have, but 19 especially have maybe the most refined tannins and finish is really enjoyable. So we, in the old days, it's like, how do we appreciate the wine? We always say there's like a 1, 2, 3 kind of feel on the wine. Means, when you drink a wine, there's like the first impression of it, which, sometimes we feel like the wine is almost too aggressive, or the wine is very relaxed, or the wine is very compact. And then you have the second feel is about the mid palate, if we have enough concentration, or if there's a strong presence on the mid part of the palate. And then the finish is like, if the wine stay with you, means are you still feeling the flavors of the wine after you swallow for a few more seconds? That's also, I remember the old days testing with Parker, we always talk about, like the wine has like 20-second lasting flavors after you swallow, and this one have like all the way up to a minute. And that's how really he was also trying to score the wine at the time. So all that this wine has this, for me, what I call the lush, more sex appeal of California sunshine in 19, slightly riper fruit profile, and softer tannins. So definitely another more wines ready to drink now. And of course, that, like I said earlier, because you feel like the structure and the foundation of the wine is so strong that the wine is going to age super well. Sorry, I'm having it right now. I'm really enjoying it. As you can hear.
No, I would agree. I think that the 19s of all 3 vintages is it's the youngest, but to me, on my palate, it's the most ready to drink, which is kind of counterintuitive, but this was actually the smallest of the 3 vintages. So we got about 300 cases of this. And as Philippe mentioned, it was also the latest harvest of the 3 vintages. So this was October 17th and 18th. Similar aging, 20, 21 months in barrel, but this particular, the 19 has about 67% new French oak. So it also has the most oak on it, which you would also think would then, it being the youngest, throw off the most tannins, but it's much softer on my palate and much more beautiful fruit, luscious, like you said, sexy and full. This one is the one we released last February. So yeah, and all 3 vintages have the same vineyard sourcing from Rutherford Oakville Valley Floor fruit. So that's also the fun part of the vertical, is seeing literally, how agriculture, grapes from year to year. And seeing how the different growing years have, how they express themselves in the wine.